Welcome everyone to another episode of the Big Brain MMA podcast. Big card UFC 292, Sterling versus O'Malley. I've got a big guest. First UFC card in back in Australia. Sorted out the microphone, sorted out the camera, sorted out the Wi-Fi. So let's go. Running a little bit late. Lou Betcha, let's get that bag. Yes, let's get that bag indeed. Bags are very expensive in Australia, so need good results. And Adam Rush, yo. Alrighty. I don't want to keep my guests waiting, so I'll quickly do my overview. Last week was the last card I did in Europe, or slash Dubai, slash Vietnam. I just pretty much every bet was without tape, which I don't usually do on Bet Online. I did a square parlay of McGee friend. I did the McGee under 1.5, which was a plus money, and I held firm. I didn't want to play it for $250 limits. Pepe will be proud. And then I didn't want to play it at Pick'em. And then I hammered it at $1.70, which still had value. And I played the McKenny under 1.5, $1.44, which I said it's probably 80% implied. And yeah, pretty much every strike that McKenny landed, I almost finished Breeden. I don't understand the Breeden love. That seemed to be a Twitter. There's a lot of Twitter echo chamber plays last week. JP buys, Breeden, just weird stuff. But yeah, pretty much hit every single one of my square bets. They're on the 1.5 record moves on. And yeah, 2,400 profit. So yeah, let's keep it going. Bring in my special guest, Pepe, one of my favorite guests. I feel like he's the ginger version of myself in a lot of ways. How are you, mate?
What up, bro? Thanks for having me on again.
No problem, man. It's always a pleasure. Would have liked to have you on a bit more, but it's good. It's good when there's a bit of a break. People.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed your holiday.
Oh, I did, man. I did.
Congratulations.
Thanks, dude. Can't complain. Other than breaking my laptop multiple times and breaking my phone and a bunch of other shit going wrong, it was perfect. Alrighty.
And it was basically paid for through the bets you placed while you were out, so can't ask for a better trip.
Yeah, it was good, man. I like I'm forced to change my style in Europe. I don't have time to tape every single fight, and whatever I lock in, it seems to hit. It's kind of like betting on the fly. So I wish I could approach that. I do that in Australia instead of just grinding myself into the ground. But what can you do? Alrighty, George Gennaro, big brain and big bags. That's it. David L, yo, what's up, man? Oh, we've got a lot of comments. Pepe was bringing in the crowd. My dad is always here. What's up, Dad? Pepe is the king of the north. Yes, he is. Big Steve. Steve wanted me on, but I said no. Pepe was second choice. Yeah, possibly. All right. Are you happy to get this ball rolling, man?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I refreshed Topology and they fixed the all Ultimate Fighter matchups. They're not opening like we all thought they wouldn't be opening. So we start with the Twitter pick of the week. Maryna, Moroz, Karine, Silva. Now, I'll take it away just because I didn't want to be on it. I'm taping this fight, and I'm like, I'll take this fight because everyone's on Moroz, and I guarantee you I'm going to pass because it's one of those Twitter picks that I'm going to disagree with. And I finished tape, and here I am. I'm on Moroz, right? And it's the only reason I played Moroz is because I found that fight in 2019 of Karine Silva where she lost a decision, right? All the other tape, when she's getting submitted, she's like 21, including when she got submitted by Maryna Moroz. I don't hold that in any consideration whatsoever. I don't care about fighters when they're 21 years of age. It's just pointless. But that fight, that fight is in 2019, and it's against a decent fighter, and it was another decision loss because everyone has questions. How does she look if the fight gets extended? The only fight that got extended was Queen Yan, whatever her name is, and she was kind of slowing down, and she got an opportunistic guillotine choke, and she lost round one from playing guard too much. So I watched that fight, and Barboza, people are familiar. I'm sure you are, Pepe. You tape LFA all the time. She's a black belt. She's a decent fighter in LFA. She lost the decision to I forgot her name, the ADCC chick, but she didn't get submitted. And straight away, the first thing I saw was Karine Silva drop down for a heel hook, and her takedown defense was decent. But in round three, it came a bit easier, and she was still going for heel hooks. And then I taped her last fight, which I cashed the plus money under, which was a bit crazy, against Ketlin Souza. And, straight away she goes down for a, it says here knee bar, but it was actually a straight ankle lock. And it's like, man, she hasn't changed. 2019 to 2023, same style. And then I did a deep dive on Moroz. Really good top pressure. She's staying in Buena Silva's guard, who probably one of the most dangerous guards in that division, and really heavy top pressure, passes guard. Doesn't give any space, which is space is what you need to hit a submission, triangle, etc., etc. I'll go back even further. I'm watching her Esparza fight, and really good takedown defense in the first round, man. So she used to be like Karine Silva, a bit of a guard sub player, but then she's developed good takedown defense. She's developed her own pressure on top, so she's not a guard player anymore. Whereas I feel like Karine goes for takedowns and she's getting better at them, but she still kind of prefers to be a guard player, an opportunistic sub person. So I just thought it was a no-brainer. If Moroz gets a takedown, she's going to be heavy on top. If Karine Silva is still going to drop down for leg locks and Moroz is going to survive, she's going to look value here. She's going to be heavy on top, pressuring. Karine's likely the one to gas. Moroz doesn't often gas. It's gone 3 rounds a lot. Beat Silva, ran through Agapova. The Maya fight was just completely different. Just she got outboxed and she still won round 3. So yeah, I just thought I have to. I hate being on the Twitter mush, but I have to. It's what I see on tape is there. So yeah, I got to win a unit, so it's a little bit more than half a unit. I think I should just leave it at that. What about you, mate?
Yeah, man. I'm kind of similar to you, as we both kind of try to stay contrarian to what a lot of the people in the Twitter echo chamber are doing, and it seems like everyone is on Moroz, and I hate seeing that. So I'm definitely not playing that side. But I mean, I see why people are on it. Silva really hasn't beaten anyone. Even her last win was not impressive. That girl was plus 200 fighting in LFA. It was a massive step up for her. But you can't deny that Silva's definitely looking more physical these days. And I don't know. I think it is kind of a volatile fight. I think it's going to come down to how she handles the grappling transitions, because we haven't really seen anything to suggest that she's going to be smart on top and win through control grappling. She's just taking these low probability submission attempts, and she's getting them right now. But Maryna's never been finished, so you can't really assume that she's going to get them when she tries them here. And if they don't work, they're probably going to lead to Maryna getting on top. That being said, Maryna is also a guard player herself. She has a long history of playing guard and losing minutes on the mat. So how I attacked it was playing the over 2.5. But I am a little nervous that Silva's going to gas out. But I am putting a little faith in that she's training harder now. She's definitely full-time. She looks way better physically. I'm hoping that her cardio improves. And if that's the case, the over 2.5 should be pretty good. I think I hit it at minus 125 or something. I think that's pretty solid. But yeah, that's how I'm going to play this one.
Fair enough. A lot of good points. I've had people telling me hit Moroz's decision, and it's the same reason I stayed off it like yourself. It's Karine Silva could be improved. She could be the first one to sub her. She's still got a little bit of uncertainty about her, and then the striking. I think the striking is a bit underrated. Moroz has no power, and like you said, yeah, she could gas. Karine could gas. I mean, I think she looks better because she dropped down to a natural weight class, flyweight. She's been fighting a bantamweight. But she was at flyweight in Contender Series, She looked better as well, and she's still kind of gassed there. So I just didn't want to get cheeky with it. I didn't want to force, Moroz's decision or play the overs. But, I mean, the over is improving for a female fight. I just feel like there's a risk of Karine from the bottom, or there's a risk of Moroz on top. But, yeah, let's move on. Alrighty, next fight, Andrea Lee, Natália Silva. Didn't really look too much into this one, man. I just feel like the line's not going anywhere, and I can tape it whenever I want and really decide if I want to take a dog shot on Lee What I do know is Natália Silva is probably going to win a decision. If she does, I don't think her finishing is that high. I think she's fought a bunch of gassy grapplers with average striking, which is why she looked like a potential finisher. But now I think this could be a competitive striking fight. Andrea Lee does her best work at kicking range as well. So no strong takes, but I have a feeling you will have a contrarian take here.
Yeah. I think I've already told you this, but I'm on Lee here. It's just a massive step up in competition for Silva, and to price her at where she's at right now is a little crazy in my opinion. Lee has much more experience. Pretty much every one of Andrea Lee's fights have been super close. So my interpretation of how they're gonna dance together is that it's gonna be a close decision. And I do obviously understand why Silva is favorite. She's younger, she's faster, she's a better striker, but Lee has top time potential, and she's bigger. So I do think that she's gonna make it close. So I played the money line, and I played the +3.5. I think the only other time Lee has been an underdog, she won also. You like to see that. Like generally the market's pretty high on her. Um, and if she did win that Barber fight, I think the line would be a lot closer as well. So I think there's a lot of upside to Lee. We saw Bleda win round 1 against Silva, had her in a deep submission. Lee has some submissions on her record. Not that I'm like banking on that, but I think it's a possibility that she could potentially submit her. So yeah, I like Lee and the point spread on her. It's plus money.
Yeah, fair enough. Point spread probably the way. I'm just looking at Lee's record. Not really ever finished, man. Other than Arena Ekachuk in 2016.
No. She finished Shevchenko recently.
No, hasn't been finished. So I'm just looking.
Yeah.
I don't like playing those point spreads if the opponent has a high likely chance of finishing it. So it's kind of like, oh damn, I didn't even get to go to a decision. But I think that this one's pretty safe.
Yeah, we haven't really seen Silva fight through too much adversity. Like everyone she's fought in the UFC has been pretty shit, in my opinion. Like Jasmine is like okay, but I think just stylistically, the way she was going for takedowns just wasn't working. So yeah, I think Lee's a solid spot.
Looking forward to looking into it, man. I'll do some deep dive. Alrighty, next one we got GM3 versus Petroski. So I didn't really expect to like GM3 here, man. He's just you know why he's an underdog. He's got bad takedown defense. He's gassy, he's chinny, he's slow. And Petroski, they seem to be feeding Petroski a steady level of easy matchups per se. He's a massive underdog to Maxwell, and then after getting that upset, Maximov, pardon me, and then after getting that upset, they just kind of giving him Turman, who's another winnable matchup, and I've got one of my boys, Pierce, saying that showed him that Petroski, is better than he thought, but it's just like he's still giving up his neck. He's still falling to his back because Turman threatened the guillotine choke. He still had his back taken in rounds 2, and Turman is just pretty awful in terms of submissions. I don't know. I just, even though I'm watching the Stolford's fight and I forgot that guy, the Polish dude.
Jocko.
Even though they're shutting him down, it's just Petroski's not really a shutdown kind of guy. He's very explosive and a strong wrestler early, and I don't think there's a danger of a submission early. But he's so gassy, man. He's been guillotined before. It's like how can you not be scared that GM3 is potentially going to grab a guillotine when Petroski's gassy, because he's a lot more aggressive, and I think GM3 has the better striking too. Yeah. But I can't play the money line. Can't play anything early. Would rather just play something late, maybe potentially GM3 2-3. I think guillotine is live. Reneke choke is live. I haven't really looked at the unders, but yeah, I wouldn't be playing. Definitely can't play Petroski at this juice line, and probably live bet GM3 as well. Live bet and some late submission props. I think it's applicable for this fight again. What about you?
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I couldn't trust Petroski at this number. But I don't know. I do think there's some credence to GM3 potentially being shot. You know, it was a horrid look in his last fight against Pfeiffer. So how I'm playing this fight is I took some Petroski KO1 at plus 900, and then I played GM3 round 2 and GM3 round 3. So I just have a few sprinkles on this fight, maybe to add up to like a little over a unit. Um, but yeah, I think that's a solid way to attack this fight. Yeah, I guess Petroski KO1 would probably be KO1 or GM3 sub 3 are the best outcomes for me. Yeah,
I think
Petroski's 32, man. It's not like he's some young prospect.
Petroski's a bum, dude. He's gonna get exposed soon enough. He's just
Yeah, he's the goat though for cashing. I bet him against Maximov at like plus 400.
Mm, mm. I think I just might have found the bet, man. The over 1.5. It's $1.71. I don't know why it's not massively juiced. Obviously, I don't think Gerald is getting anything early, and I don't know why Andre is favored to get a finish here, right? Just because Pfeiffer knocked him out. I mean, he's the only person he's finished under is Nick Maximov, who dived into the anaconda choke. He was on who couldn't finish him till late. Michael Gilmore couldn't finish him. I mean, I think that's a play, man. Bellington Turman wasn't close till late. I think that's a play for me. It's a bit of an overreaction.
Yeah, that's solid. Like I said, the KO1 is plus 900, so it's not like they're really expecting that to happen. So
Yeah, I know, but why? Why? What are they expecting to happen then? Why is it so? It just seems like a error on the bookie's part.
yeah, the math doesn't really add up, does it? I think the sub one is like something really stupid, like fucking plus 300 or something.
Yeah, that's retarded. That's I've been trying to hit the overs, man. I'm being so good at unders. I think I'm like scared of unders overs because of that. But man, there's a couple of unders that I passed on they hit, and I think I'm going to hit this one. I don't want to pass on it. I think it's overrated. Him being washed and getting knocked out. He's always been like that. I've been losing so much money and trying to fade his chin, and he's been winning. And then we've seen it from Heinisch and Chimaev, and then he goes on a little streak. No one knocks him out, and now if Pfeiffer knocks him out, it's probably the most likely guy that was going to chin him. And now people think he's washed and chinny, and he quits in round one. He's always like to get cold cocked.
Yo, how pissed would you be if Petroski gasses out in round 2 and gets finished under the 2.5 like Muradov did?
Well, I'm probably going to play some GM3 rounds 2 and 3 as well. And then, whatever. If Petroski gets a round 1 KO, then whatever. So be it.
Yeah, it's a solid look, I think.
Cool. All right. Let's move on, my friend. Cody Gibson versus Brad Katona. I did a really quick smash of the tape on this one. It seems like they've got a lot of similarities. I'll let you take it away, man.
Yeah, I haven't taped this one, but I'm like kind of familiar with these guys, and I predicted the opener like spot on pretty much. I said Katona minus 160. Yeah, I mean like Gibson has lost previously to wrestlers like Ray Borg, beat him pretty easily when they fought on Eagle FC. And Katona's got solid wrestling, but he's giving up a lot of size in this matchup, and Gibson is the much more dangerous striker, the one who's going to be doing a lot more damage. So I don't think I'm comfortable laying juice on Katona. I'll see where the line goes. I potentially would be interested in some big Gibson underdog odds, depending on where it goes. But yeah, we'll see where the line goes, and I'm assuming it's gonna go the over is going to be juiced and all that kind of shit. So that probably won't be playable. So if anything, it would be dog or pass.
Oh yeah, this is a big dog or pass for me, man. I really crammed a lot of fights in here, and I thought, someone in the Discord told me the line, and I remember thinking, okay, Gibson must be that much worse, and I didn't come away from tape thinking that. I feel like, do you know what the line is now? I'm just scrambling to find it on.
I think it was like minus 170.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy considering, Katona, like they both got similarities. Katona also wants to get for takedowns, and he also goes for back takes. I think Cody's got the better body triangle. Like you said, he's more dangerous. He's longer. Katona loses a lot of position, even when he gets the back. I've seen it in a bunch of fights. I mean, losing to Hunter Azor is also a red flag. And yeah, man, I think this is an easy dog or pass. I'm talking myself.
Yeah. He might have gotten like a little screwed on the judges' scorecards against Hunter, but even so, it's like he's fighting super close. Yeah, he's fighting super close with everyone. And yeah, I think people are just thinking that, since he has the grappling upside, that he's going to be able to do that and win comfy.
Yeah, and that just have to correct you. That Borg fight, I was on Borg against Cody Gibson, and I was sweating, man. Cody won the round one pretty clear, and then Borg had to fight berserker mode to just gas him out and break him with the wrestling. And round two was also competitive, and then round three, Cody properly got tired. But I was like, can Katona bring that kind of pace, and aggression? I mean, yeah, he does shoot, but it's not Ray Borg style,
Yeah, Borg is way more vicious with his striking and grappling. Wasn't Borg like a huge favorite there too?
He was.
Yeah, I remember Chad like max bet him at minus 400, like at the worst of it.
I don't know if it was minus 400. I think he was like that might have been steamed. I played like $1.60, which is minus one something. I think
Chad
Katona is now.
Chad played it at the worst of the number. I do remember that. And then was bragging about it on Twitter about how he won a unit.
Well, my dad seems to know the full story, but we don't have time to ask him. Alrighty, George Gennaro. Pepe has a dreamy radio voice. There you go. I know my voice is shithouse, so we'll just move on. We have Kurt Holobaugh versus Austin Hubbard. I taped this one in a lot more detail just because the line seemed off pre-tape. I'm super familiar with Kurt, both of his runs in the UFC, first and second. The only thing I wasn't familiar with was his Ultimate Fighter tape because I really didn't watch the show. The show's shithouse. I'm just going to share the screen. I messed it up. But I taped it, and still the same guy. He's had a murderer's run in the second UFC stint. I mean, Barcelos, Burgos, and Moises. That's just rough, man. And I thought he did okay, but he's a lot cleaner. I think outside of his regional tape is super impressive. He's always finishing bums, and the guys that he fought in Ultimate Fighter that potentially were in UFC level, the other night, the hillbilly bum, he just ran through him. So he's a lot more sharper. And Austin Hubbard, his regional tape after the UFC, I wasn't impressed at all, man. Julian Lane, that was Julian Lane's, let me bang, bro, first fight in MMA in like 6 years or something, the commentators were saying, and he got wobbled in round one and kind of had to rely on his grappling in round three to win a unanimous decision. But it's like you should be running through like regional bums like Julian Lane if you're really UFC level. The guy's 12-10 now. And then he fought, Keegan Agnew, who was 5-0 at the time, the violent hippie. I've never heard of him. Decent record, 6-1. He won a fight after that. But I don't think he's the best. He's got the fury and the cage aggression regional scene. And again, super competitive, man. He's getting tagged. He's too lackadaisical for me, Hubbard. But he's so steady, and he has great cardio, and he's got a decent durability and cardio and submission defense. And if you don't have those things, he's going to come on and probably win the decision against you late. There's a bit of a weasel in that regard, and he's got underrated pop on his punches. So It's definitely a dog or pass, but it's just taping so many fights with Kurt. He's all aggression. He's complete opposite to Hubbard. He's all aggression, and he has no consideration for his defense or takedown defense. The guy's never fixed his takedown defense. Even in the first fight on Ultimate Fighter, just comes in and straight away easy takedown, and then proceeds to get mauled for majority of round one. And that's the way he is. So he's probably going to come out early and light up Hubbard a bit. Just crack him. He's got the way better hands, but he's just over the 3 rounds. If he doesn't finish Hubbard, I feel like Hubbard, with his steady pace and with the Hubbard's defense, with the Holobaugh's defense, is going to start cracking him. The cardio is going to start holding up more for Austin, and then he's probably going to shoot. He always shoots late rounds 2 and 3, and then Kurt's going to do nothing off his back. He plays jiu-jitsu a little bit too much. But yeah, I'm still tossing up between dog or pass. I feel like Austin could be a good live bet, or if you want to play Kurt, if you're brave, and then just kind of hedge yourself out. But I haven't decided. It's just what I saw on tape from Kurt. Even though he's really good with his hands, there's some stuff that I don't like. The defense in all aspects, and the age, etc., etc. Also, the under is a plus money. One of my friends told me, and I was surprised that it was a plus money. So it's kind of got my eyes. Might have to retape it again.
Well, it sounds like you're not gonna like my bets on this one then, because I have GTD and Holobaugh decision at plus 400. Yeah, Hubbard's just a little too lackadaisical, like you were talking about. And I just like Kurt's aggression. I think he's the better striker, and fucking like even Vince Pichel was breaking Hubbard on the feet. And we've seen what Vince has done since then. So yeah, I think Hubbard, or I think Kurt could take the alpha in the octagon role and bank 2 rounds with aggression. But yeah, my one big concern is Hubbard getting him down, because he does consistently wrestle. It's just whether Kurt's going to be able to keep it standing or not. I think if he does keep it standing, he's going to look like a slight favorite, and the decision prop's going to look really nice. But yeah, I thought the over was a solid look, but maybe I'm seeing things wrong because it seems like the market's going against me.
No, I don't think I don't have a strong take. It's just my friend said he likes the under, and I thought the under was going to be minus money, with all the finishing upside on Kurt and his lack of defense, and how Hubbard, can come on strong. And then I was just, the initial shock of plus 120, I was like,
well, it's like Hubbard doesn't finish anyone, though. Like,
yeah, he does.
When's the last time Hubbard got a finish?
Well, he only finishes quitters, right? So Max Roshkov quit on him.
Yeah, he couldn't even finish Dakota Bush.
That's true. Who's completely a gas bag after the first. That's making me like the dog. I was worried about Kurt's defense and whatnot. If he can make it, I actually do like your decision bet a lot. Kurt by decision.
It'll just be annoying if fucking Hubbard gets 10 minutes of control in rounds 2 and 3. And Kurt's just playing off his back, and we're just like, oh, well, we knew this was a possibility.
I don't think he will. I think Kurt has some get-ups. That Thiago Moises fight, it went completely different to what I remember. He got 30-26 from one judge, but while taping that, he got up so many times, and he kept trying to take Moises down. That's another reason.
Was that in Brazil too?
Potentially, but that's another one of the reasons why I wanted to pass, because it's like, why did he have the game plan of wrestle fucking Thiago Moises? I was like, what's he doing here? And he just kept shooting and shooting, and I was like, what are you doing, bro? Just light up. Moises.
He is kind of a dumbass, so you have to remember that. But I like his resilience, and I like his aggression too. So I think it'll be competitive.
Yeah, I think there's a sneaky chance that maybe he gets around 1 KO as well. But, all the finishing upsides on his side. So, yeah, I think we covered a lot on this one. Very nice. Cool. Alrighty. Gregory Rodrigues versus Denis Tiuliulin. I'll let you take this one away, mate.
Yeah, man. I like the under here. And I like it because Denis is involved in the fight, and he's going to bring it. And I 100% expect Rodrigues to finish him. Although and his chin could be completely gone. That's why I included the under. But I also like some Rodrigues submission props. He's talking in interviews about going back to his roots of jiu-jitsu and grappling, and how he fell too in love with his hands and got addicted to knocking people out. And he knows that it's not sustainable. He's got a good camp behind him, smart coaches. I think they'll have a good game plan for him. And Denis is helpless on bottom. He should be able to run through him. Gregory's takedowns are really, really nice. He's just such a beast. Like he's so strong for middleweight, and he's huge. So I don't think he'll have any problem getting Denis to the ground. And once he gets him to the ground, he should jizz on him, as Gugabe says.
Classic. Do you know what that under 1.5 opened up at?
No, I don't. I played it at minus 165.
Damn. This is, when I landed from Europe, I figured it out now when the openers for over-unders happen in Australia. It's midnight on the Sunday, and I was jet lagged. So I was just about to pass out at like 7 p.m. And I really wanted to stay up to hit the opener on this fight without tape or anything. And I'm just curious what it was, because the day after, when I woke up, 12 hours of steam, it was the price that you hit it at. And I was like, that's pretty generous, And then I ended up hitting it a little bit worse at close to minus 200. But I'm really curious if someone knows on the live chat, so they can make me feel bad about not staying up. Maybe it was close to plus money.
Well, on Bet Online, it opened at minus 115. That's Bet Online, though.
Oh, wow. So close to picking, eh?
Yeah, but, only $250 limits for you.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Aren't the limits better than that on Bet Online now? Or is that just for money lines?
Yeah, just for money lines. Totals, usually they do $250 limits for totals, and then it'll become $500 in a couple days.
All right. Well, I probably would have passed on that then, because I did so well passing on the McGee plus money under 1.5. So I don't feel bad about sleeping in them. But yeah, I'm happy with mine. Look, I ended up taping it, even at that close to minus 200, and didn't take much tape. I just saw the Iron Turtle of the Denis fight, and I used to think Denis was underrated, because you've seen some improvement, and he's getting up against Kizriev. He's going to the cage and he's working his way, but it's just once they get to the back, it just seems like an instant tap. In the second round, Kizriev got there and it was an instant tap. Park did really well of consolidating position, and he tried to scoot back to the cage. Park's an underrated fighter as well. I love Park.
Yeah, me too.
He just how smart he is. Gregory doesn't do that. Gregory probably would have gone for some sort of sub, and
I hope Rodrigues does what Park did, and once he takes him down, get position, and then smash him, and let Denis give his back up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I hope that he gives his back up, but I don't even rely on that. I see a lot of Twitter. This is maybe another Twitter bet. Gregory sub, and like you said, he's talking about an interview, which probably fuels the narrative. But it's I'm not even relying on that. It's just there's so many ways. Like you said, Denis comes forward. He's a high guard dude that comes forward and no regard for defense. Gregory is so much more faster and explosive, and he's aggressive on the striking. It has like a dynamic of the Marquez fight. Some people playing Marquez KO because he's got heavy hands, but he's so much slower. And he's even though he's durable, Gregory can knock out anyone. So I just feel like this is a levels fight. Gregory should run through him. Denis doesn't hit as hard either as the Hulk. So I think Gregory can run through him on the feet. Denis will come into the pocket. He will get lit up there. He will also pressure Gregory, which will make him throw. He goes into berserker mode when he gets hit. And there is also that, added potential of maybe the submission. But even if it's not a submission, I think when Gregory takes you down, he throws some ground and pound like he did to Chitty. Like he absolutely killed Chitty on the ground. And also Denis is gassy too. So, if it loses, so be it. But I think this could be like maybe 75%. It will just be a weird fight if this goes over. Maybe like both guys being really patient, which I just don't see.
Yeah, if Denis is like afraid of his power, that would suck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't really see Denis being. I mean, he seems like a tough Russian. All right, we got Daniel Covert just spamming. Yo, I can't read anything on the screen. Why your face is so small? A lot of requests. Turn off your Discord. Right, so I turned off the Discord for you because I'm a man of the people. I can't help you with any of the other stuff. All right, let's move on. Heather Swanson. Oh yeah, it's Pepe, the real goat. There you go, mate.
Fucking the people love me. You love to see it.
I know, right? What do you must be doing something for them on the side.
I just give out a lot of bets for free, I think.
Jobber, that's the peasant mentality. You got to charge them as much as you can.
I'm the man of the people. What can I say?
Alrighty. Now, Chris Weidman versus Brad Tavares. I don't know. I taped way too many fights for this. I don't really know. I'll lean Tavares. I think people saying good fight for Weidman. I don't know how it's good. You know, the guy has elite takedown defense. I know he's not the best guy, but I don't know, man. It's Tavares or pass. Maybe live bet Weidman. Yeah, no strong takes. What about you?
Yeah, man. I think it's a solid spot for Tavares. I don't really see how you can make much of an argument for Chris at this stage of his career. You know, he's a shell of himself. You know, and it's kind of like the Tony Ferguson and Bobby Green situation where it's just, you know, I like to smash those spots. You know,
You
coming
gonna
off.
smash
I didn't smash it actually, but I did parlay him with Ian Garry a little earlier in the week when the numbers were a little a little more digestible. Yeah, I think it's bad stylistically for Weidman, and I don't know. I wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised if Tavares knocks him out early. You know, he was landing really clean on Dusko, or not Dusko, Drickus and Silva. So yeah, I don't. Weidman's been finished so many times. I don't really see him surviving that.
Indeed, there's a lot going wrong with Weidman, man. The chin, and the one time he went over and beat Omari, he was completely cardio gassed. I feel the
Oh,
same thing.
that was an awful look. The Omari fight is terrible. That's a terrible look.
I tailed one of my friends back on Sherdog when it was a bit sharper, and he had Weidman by Pick'em, and I was like, fuck it. And I was happy what I saw from Weidman in the third. He dug deep. But man, if you're digging deep, I feel like the same thing will happen here. You know, maybe trying too hard for the wrestling, gasses out, and then Tavares just lights him up. I'm looking at some. You know, it's annoying with Tavares with how much he lacks finishing instinct. But you know, he's dropped Amari, he's dropped Junior, Carlos Junior.
Yeah, he was fucking up fucking Shoeface.
Yeah, and Bruno Silva. You know, he's clean. He's clean. He's just. I wish he could turn that on and finish someone after hurting him. But there's some good lines here, man. On Bet365, via finish is 220. I'm sure KO is going to be a little bit better, Brad Tavares. And then if you want to play it safer, the under 2.5 is $1.80, which is 30 cents difference, or close to 40 cents difference. But yeah, some potential bets there if you want to be square. Still plus money. It could look, hindsight could look, amazing. I'm looking to fade Chris Weidman, man. 2 years after that leg break.
Yeah, and fucking Tavares lands really heavy leg kicks too.
Yeah, that's a good point. He does. Alrighty, let's move on. The fight that I wish I did a little bit more tape, because it's, I know people on both sides. But yeah, Bautista, Damon, Blackshear. I'll definitely be looking deep into this one, interviews and the weight cut. But I at the moment, I'm pretty confident it's a dog or pass. And I have a friend that's, considering 2 units at Juice. So maybe you can tell me what's up.
Oh, he's considering 2 units on Bautista?
He is.
I mean,
he's a sharp dude. So I'm kind of going against him, but which,
Yeah, I played Blackshear. It was at plus 240. I thought that was a pretty crazy line. Like I think Mario definitely deserves to be favorite, but come on, man. Like look who he's beating. like absolute bums. And he's not even like he'd even like run through Jay Perrin. Like he's honestly had like the easiest schedule you could really get in his past 3 wins. And then what was it, 4 fights ago, he fought Trevin Jones. He loses round 1, he gets cage pushed, and then he gets dropped in round 2 off like not even that hard of a shot. Like I don't really know, like we don't even know like what his chin is really like, because that was like the last time he got landed clean on. And Blackshear, I was surprised at how young he is. He's younger than Mario and he's bigger. But yeah, like the biggest concern for me is him conceding minutes on his back, because Mario's wrestling is decent. But I mean, his Guido got up after getting taken down from Mario and even got a takedown of his own. Um, and Blackshear is pretty slick with his submissions. His striking is improving. And then the second concern you have is the weight cut. Really quick turnaround to make 135 again. For some reason, I thought it was going to be at 140 when I placed the bet. But I mean, if he's taking the fight, I'm assuming that like him and his team believe that he can get down to 135 safely. But yeah, the dude is huge. So yeah, if Trevin Jones can hold you against the cage, I don't see why Blackshear won't be able to, and potentially get takedowns of his own.
100%, man. I agree with a lot of that stuff you said, which is why I'm also leaning Blackshear. Yeah, I just did a screenshot in the Discord, and it's like 1 out of 8 people that Bautista has fought haven't been bums, and that's Corey Sandhagen, right? And obviously that was a while ago, 4 years ago. He looks like he's on supplements now. But, he's the Miles Johns fight. Round 1 was competitive, and then he landed a flying knee out of nowhere. Trevin Jones, that was another bum. That guy actually beat him. Jay Perrin, I agree with that. Yes, he was a 30-27, and he got a 30-26 in there. But he's just, couldn't hold him down, couldn't submit him. I definitely don't think he's submitting Damon Blackshear. I'm confident in saying Damon has elite submission defense. I've taken so many fights, the Sabatini fight, the Danny Sabatella, a lot of fights where you can see that he has elite submission defense, even the Lacerda fight. So let's say Bautista wins, goes to a decision, then is he going to cover this line? Is he going to 30-26 Blackshear by, out-bullying him? Because he's a bully. He uses, he pushes you against the cage, he throws elbows, he's good at mixing up his attacks. I don't know, Damon's pretty physical himself. He does have issues with, getting taken down. He gave up an easy takedown to Zalal, which is a red flag. Zalal has awful wrestling, and he just stayed out on his back majority of the round. But then he took his back. He's got elite back taking, like amazing back takes. And he took Zalal's multiple times. He almost took Farid's back. He did, but he didn't get the hooks in. But that's only because Farid is a very smart fighter and he's very good. Damon was a popular dog there, but I played Farid in round 3 in decision just because of how smart he is. And almost then, at the end, Damon almost triangled him from his back. So what's there to say that he can't submit Mario? Like Mario's one of his losses is a submission to Corey Sandhagen. Who else is going to submit him? Jane Perrin, Kelleher, Lopez, Canetti. And like you said, Canetti took him down, man. Got up and took him down. I get why he's the dog. Easy to get taken down. Tons of hype on Bautista. And the weight cut. The weight cut is quite annoying. Like, I wish there wasn't a weight cut, because this would have been an easy play on Blackshear. But he could be one of those dudes that maybe doesn't cut a lot of weight, like one of those freaks. Just retains a lot of water, and then he cuts a lot of water. The more muscle you have, the easier it is to cut weight. Maybe I'm sure if he requested a catch weight, the UFC would have been all for it. They do it all the time. Maybe he's just confident he's not cutting much weight. But yeah, man, I agree with everything you said. I gotta go deeper into this one. If it is a competitive back and forth grappling fight, like let's say Jay Perrin, I think Damon's going to do a lot better than Jay Perrin, man. And if he gets a back take, even if Mario survives, could be the round. So, yeah, I'm excited about this one. I kind of wish I focused more on this fight. But I taped a lot of both of these dudes.
Yeah, I don't think the line's going to go anywhere, really. So you could always wait till the weigh-ins, too. So
I'm definitely close on Blackshear. And I also try not to look too much into those narratives of, 2 fights in 2 weeks. Like I've been smashing the dogs, coming from LFA, like Marcus McGee against Newsom and Trey Waters. They fought like a week ago or something, and everyone's fading that. When meanwhile they look the best they've ever looked because they're fight ready and they're sharp. So I'm trying not to put too much into this as well. Like the Medic hand injury and moving up in weight, like those narratives, they just give us a really good edge and really good lines. So I'm trying.
And Derek Lewis is retiring and he's shot.
Yeah. Well, and then he ended up having abs, which is why I regret not jumping on that one. But yeah, I'm gonna look at some interviews and I might join you, man. Might join you there on Blackshear. Alrighty, now this is a good one right here. So Marlon Vera versus Pedro Munhoz. This one feels like kind of Twitter mush because I've been seeing it everywhere. Sherdog, Discord, Twitter, but no one's playing it. Like Ian Garry versus the last dude he KO'd. Everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna fade Garry if he fights someone like D-Rod, and then no one plays it. This is the same one. Everyone is like, oh, Pedro has tons of value against Marlon Vera in a 3-round fight, yet the line's not moving, and I don't see anyone locking in bets on Twitter or anywhere, like showing off their bet slips. So I came in thinking, I'm going to tape it, and I'm probably not going to be on the Munhoz side because everyone's just talking crap. And then, I'm considering it, man. I'm considering it. I don't want to get thrown into that. The way I see it is they have so many similarities, these guys, right? Insane durability, take a lot of shots. They're both flat-footed. And both get beaten by guys that can shut them down with good footwork and speed. Dominic Cruz, was winning until it wasn't. Both need big moments. But I think Pedro Munhoz needs less big moments. He went toe-to-toe with Sean O'Malley on the volume. And, he's obviously not going to wrestle Vera. It's just I was told, like, I was considering not playing it. I was giving dues to Vera as why I should pass. Younger, longer. Munhoz like 36. But then the more I thought about it, man, it's like, how does this not end up being a 3-round competitive striking fight? Vera needs big moments. And even though Munhoz is hittable, man, I can't recall him getting hurt or wobbled, even though he takes absolute bombs. My friend said apparently in the first Rivera fight was the last time he recalls him getting dropped. I didn't go that far back, no need. So yeah, it's just, how does this not end up being competitive, And Munhoz, I like Munhoz's new approach. He stopped being a mindless pressure fighter, and he was actually staying a distance against O'Malley, and that made it competitive. I reckon if he pressured O'Malley would have lit him up and countered him. But he made round really competitive and edged him on the volume. And then you saw him fight the exact same way against Gutierrez. I passed on that fight because I was like, Gutierrez has the game plan to stick and move against Munhoz, who's a punching bag, and then he made that competitive again. So if he fights like that against Vera, I think there's value. So I haven't locked anything in. It's just I'm still, I've given you all my concerns why I haven't locked it in. But I'm probably going to have to play it, man. Like, how does Vera cover minus 200 against Pedro Munhoz?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, dude. I like Marlon, though, just because the short notice and the size advantage. I think Pedro is a lot more hittable than Cheeto is. And I do think that Cheeto has a bit more finishing upside. Pedro was getting lit up by Dominic Cruz late, rocked a couple times. Jimmy Rivera, like you had mentioned before, was like absolutely brutalizing this guy. Just 30-27 to him. Destroying his legs were destroyed after one round. And like he gritted out getting through. I had Jimmy decision, I'm pretty sure. Or no, did Pedro win the Jimmy fight? Okay, I think I have that mixed up. Anyways, yeah, I like Cheeto.
Sorry to interrupt. The first one was a split decision.
Yeah.
And the second one, Pedro beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, so Pedro brutalized Jimmy's legs, and that's what led to him getting cut. Yeah, I think the short notice doesn't help Pedro. And I don't know, just like trajectory wise, I like Cheeto in this spot. And I took a sprinkle on Cheeto round 3 KO at plus 2,000. Real small. Just because of the hitability of Pedro, and just Cheeto throws like a ton of unorthodox strikes. I could definitely see him catching him with something and stunning him.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's possible. It's possible. You just reminded me of another reason why I haven't locked anything in. It's Pedro is probably going to have issues landing punches. Like in a lot of his fights, he's landing leg kick volume. Like on O'Malley, it was just all leg kicks, like 100 leg kicks. And a similar fight here, I think he won't be able to reach Vera because he's tall and long. And yeah, Vera's pretty good at
he seemed kind of lost against Aldo when he couldn't land his leg kicks too. Like once a couple of them got checked, he didn't really have any answers. Although Jose Aldo is faster than Cheeto, I still think a similar dynamic could take place.
He's faster and he also has better footwork, which is the big issue, right? Both these guys don't have good footwork, so that's why I think it could be competitive. I don't want to overthink it. I overthought the Gutierrez fight, ended up passing on great value on Pedro as a dog. So yeah, it's a dog or pass for me. But yeah, I have a feeling one of these durable guys might get cracked here. Probably Pedro. Let's address the comments. Mushroom MMA. What's up, Big C? This might be the first time Mushroom has listened to my pod live. Maybe I'm wrong. What's up, Pepe? The guy on the right sounds like a Valley girl barista.
Yo, who's that hater?
Is that a bad thing or a good thing? I can't really tell. I don't know what a Valley girl barista sounds like. Damon's cut is going to be a bitch on only 4 days' notice. Well, look, he's already cut majority of the weight last week. If he stayed in shape, if he went straight back to the gym, you like to think that he has because he got an easy round one twister. I don't think he'll be eating burgers and stuff. He seems like the guy that wants to have a lot of fights. So who knows, man? Maybe he's just a couple of pounds. And yeah, I'll have to look into that one. What do we have? A lot of rubbish comments. A lot of comments. Vera doesn't read a lot of first rounds either. This is the narrative that's going around. I tend to agree. Probably might not happen here either. That's a lot. Cool. Let's move on. Neil Magny, Ian Machado, Garry. This one, I barely did any tape. I mean, I know what both these guys do. Yeah, I don't think the line is going. Well, the line is going, but I'm pretty confident I don't want to be parlaying Garry at $1.20 now. So I'm not real rush to tape it. I mean, he should beat Magny. This feels like a perfect step up, a guy in the rankings like Magny for him to beat. But yeah, I mean, you look at the Weeks fight. He's getting held up against the cage. Why can't Magny do that to him? I don't know. It's a past fight. No interest in anything. Maybe you can tell me something you like.
Yeah, you don't like the submission prop. It seems like a lot of people are on that.
There's whenever there's a pay-per-view, man, there's so many hive mind bets. That's another one. That submission, RoboCop submission. I don't know.
I mean, but the thing is, like, in both of those spots, specifically, people. I feel like people have been betting those consistently, like in their past few fights, and now that the number's like not as good, it'll probably hit.
Yeah, that's tend to happen. I try to be wary of that, like recency bias in the odds as well. But I bet him against Darian Weeks. So I like the sub. I get it. I looked at his early career. I'm like, this guy has really good back takes, And I mean, never even close. Not even. The fight was never on the ground either. So I don't know. I mean, he could probably get near Magny's back or something, but he's not Gilbert Burns, man. So and he's not really interested in it. So maybe you can.
Yeah, I did play it a little bit. I mean, look at how many times Magny's been submitted.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, he's getting submitted by. I mean, granted, these are really good guys, and even in Fury, he got choked out really easy. Yeah, I think it's like plus 650. I don't think it's a bad way to play. The minus 500 now.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad price actually.
Especially if you go like round 2 or round 3 submission.
Oh yeah, you would definitely have to play that. I don't know. I personally don't consider Garry on the Gilbert Burns sharp cut.
No, definitely not. But
or the Faños, but even Joaquim Silva has a really mean guillotine choke. I think Gary's probably going to get like a rear naked choke, and I think I consider Garry maybe more on the lines of like Michael Chiesa.
Yeah, I could see a club and sub too. I mean, Magny gets rocked a lot.
He does.
Griffin dropped him in round 1 in their fight. I think someone like Garry could have gotten an opportunistic submission in a similar situation.
Oh, everyone hurts him, man. D-Rod, Griffin, Jeff Neal, Rocco Martin, which was a robbery. Yeah, they're all hurt him. It's just let me check the unders. The unders, even though I'm probably going to pass because I hate how Garry fights when it comes to unders.
Yeah, play the over 1.5 and the under 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I double hit those. I hit it with Chase Hooper against Corrales, rest in peace. Yeah, it's so juiced, man. No, I don't.
Did you see they booked Chase Hooper versus Jordan Levitt? So ridiculous.
Well, what do you think of that fight? That's interesting.
Fucking yeah, Hooper's gonna smash him.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I guess he should. Yeah. I don't know.
Fucking Levitt lost to Claudio Puelles. Come on.
I think he's also improving. I don't know. I don't like to give my opinions out without tape.
You asked me, so.
Yeah, true. You're probably right, man. I think O'Malley's probably improving more.
Not O'Malley.
Two dudes that look the same to me. Bizarro Chase Hooper is O'Malley did. All right. Good fight. Weili Zhang, Amanda Lemos. I'll let you take it away, sir.
Yeah, I like the Weili by submission in this one too. I think there's number one. I think she could get a submission at any point. She's got the better cardio. Lemos, anytime fights have been extended, except for the Maryna fight, she got that fucking. I don't want to call it a meme knockout in round 3, but it did seem kind of like an early stoppage. But Maryna just offered no offensive grappling. I think here she's going to be outmatched in the grappling. She gets away with a lot of her game on strength and brute force, and I think Zhang is just going to be able to out athletic her. So I think the price on the Weili submission is really good. So I took that at plus 550, and I have some ends by submission on FanDuel as well at plus 420. And like getting submitted by Jessica Andrade in round 1 was an awful look, and then just thinking about her slowing down late in the fight and giving up a late submission is very feasible too. So I think that's a solid way to get exposure to a minus 350.
I agree. I don't disagree. What do you reckon of the under? The under 3.5 at minus 200.
I don't really like that. No, because they had DraftKings had fight doesn't go the distance at minus 250. I played a little bit of that. I think it's gotten steam since then, but I wouldn't want to pay minus 200 for under 3.5.
Fair. Were you playing Zhang submission?
Yeah. I got a Weili submission and fight ends by sub. So
what's Weili submission?
It was plus 550. I think there might be even plus 600s around on FanDuel.
Well, that's nice, man.
FanDuel clone books.
That's how I'm leaning, and potentially maybe Zhang ground the pound finish late, because I lean that Amanda Lemos might have some flakiness in her, only because what her face looked like when Andrade submitted her standing, and yeah, not many get-ups, not much get-ups against Waterson until the second round. And I do think the reason I was considering the under, I do think Lemos is dangerous early, right? I know, some people think maybe she might not be able to finish Zhang, but we've seen Zhang knocked out, by a slapping head kick against Rose, and I've seen her drop the bunch. She's a lot more aggressive. She's like a buzzsaw, whereas Lemos is she's more dangerous and clean and sharp with her striking. She feints. She doesn't throw anything unless it's set up, and she's a sniper as well. So, if Zhang is going to come out there super sloppy, throwing back fists and naked leg kicks again, Lemos is going to counter it nice and clean.
I do think, like, as opposed to the under 3.5, like you suggested, if you want to attack that angle, I think it would probably be better to take the under 2.5 at a much better number.
Yeah, I was
And
thinking about that
yeah,
too. Yeah, but I was being safe with maybe like a late round,
yeah,
Zhang
true.
But yeah, I haven't locked anything. I like that submission, man. Weili Zhang submission. I mean, finishing Carla, I think the ground game is improving a lot. Finishing Carla, who I think has elite submission defense. She went to the ground with Vera Genderova and stuff. That was impressive, with the crucifix. So I think if she wants the wrestling path here, it's going to be a lot easier than wrestling someone like Rose. And
Don't you think so? Don't you think she's going to do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, from the tape, I think she's pretty reliable. And the way she was throwing around Joanna, who was, elite takedown defense historically. Yeah.
Yeah. And, and we saw Watterson get Lemos down early, too, without much of a problem.
And Watterson has horrible takedowns.
Right.
And
she's weak as hell.
Yeah, so that's why I like the 3.5. It's safe. It's a bit juicy, but I just feel like, she's going to run through it, get an easy takedown. And, how many minutes of aggressive ground and pound from Zhang can Lemos take before she folds and breaks? But yeah, that's a mission, man. Not bad, not bad. I might join you there. Cool. And I'll let you take away the main event as well, because I think you have a similar play to what I just gave out. Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley. Take it away, son.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Acai or whatever from the Discord, NTT. He put me on a really, really, really good line early. And DraftKings was hanging under 4.5 at plus 135. And obviously that line is well gone. But that was a pretty big smash spot for me. So I like the under. I think it's kind of a binary fight. If either of them are able to get their game off, they should be able to find a finish. Now that it's getting like super juicy, I don't think I would be like that into playing it right now. Playing it at plus 135 and minus 200 is much different. But yeah, I mean, I do understand why Aljo is the favorite. His grappling is elite, his back takes are elite, and we've seen O'Malley get taken down quite easily. His level of competition is nowhere near Sterling's, but I think what some people might not think about is like how elite O'Malley's footwork and speed is. And, his ability to stay away from Sterling might be a lot better than something like Henry was able to do. And, I don't think Sean was worried about the wrestling of Peter Yan in that fight, whereas this past year, he's just been planning and camping for either Henry or Aljo. So, I think his takedown defense could have improved. Aljo's takedowns really aren't that good. He's more of like a chain wrestler, get you against the fence. But I think in the big octagon with O'Malley's footwork, he has the potential to keep Aljo away and, either point fight or find the knockout himself. So I do think the Aljo line is kind of wide. But he definitely has a path to look, like minus 1,000. So I guess I get why people would think that he's just going to smash through O'Malley, and he could. This is definitely the fight I'm looking forward to most, but it might be kind of a casual bet, but I'm going to play O'Malley as well with the under. Hopefully Sterling doesn't backpack him for 5 rounds.
Fair enough. I did tape this fight first just because of that under 4.5. I think I saw you were advocating for it, so I was like, I think you're pretty good with your unders. I know sometimes when I have issues with the under 1.5, I see if you're on it, and it just kind of takes my fear away a bit. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I can't get a read on this fight. Maybe because there's not much grappling in O'Malley's tape other than Peter Yan. And, Peter Yan is nowhere near as good of a control fighter. He just kind of takes you down with bad control, and then, just looks to smash you. And if you get up, he will just mat return you. Whereas, Aljamain instantly gets the back take and goes to mount and just grapevines you. And he has brutal ground and pound, man. You look at Sean O'Malley, a couple of ground and pound shots he took from Vera was about to go out cold. And if anyone else in that rematch with Peter Yan is on the bottom taking those ground and pound shots in round 2, I think Aljo, finishes him. He has amazing ground and pound, finished. And injured TJ with ground and pound as well. It's underrated, man. He does damage. He's definitely not a lay-in prayer.
Yo, he's fucking huge now, dude. He's way bigger, way more jacked, and way stronger than he used to be.
Yeah, he's extremely physical, unlike Sean O'Malley. So I don't know why I haven't played it. It feels like the 4.5, even though it's at minus 200, I'm not against laying the juice. I've laid minus 200 in Molly McCann and there's other fights and they ended in round 1. And if I see value in it, and if I have it at 80%, 70%, I'll lay minus 200. It's just I don't know why I haven't played it. I think the only reason I haven't played it is because I think there's a chance that O'Malley's power might be a bit overrated. He's just taking 3 rounds to finish Chris Moutinho and really, really chinny guys like Thomas Almeida, for example, where I don't think Sterling is chinny at all. Even when he's gassy, he can take a lot of damage. So that's kind of what scared me off is maybe if O'Malley survives late and doesn't get rear naked choked or pounded out, and then both guys are kind of tired, and O'Malley's kind of landing his teeps and 1-2s, and it's enough for Aljamain to kind of grind on him and not finish him, and he just goes rounds 4 and 5 just go over to a decision. That's why I haven't laid it. I wish there was more tape, more grappling tape to see how much Sean slows down. But I have to look into it some more. I've taped like maybe 4 or 5 fights of each. But maybe I still play it. Maybe you're right. Maybe, Sean O'Malley leveling up so much, maybe he lands a clean head kick or a knee or...
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Aljo just pounds him out early too. Or takes his back and submits him in round 1.
Yeah, that's the issue because I don't know how the fight's going to look. I don't know how I kept the over-under, you know what I mean? That's the problem. If I knew how, and even with the narrative that you're saying, I can't help but have that in the back of my mind. Maybe O'Malley, has been training for grapplers. And I think I always maintained that his jiu-jitsu was underrated. When he was injured and he did those grappling tournaments and he guillotined Gomi and had a really good triangle attempt. I think he's got good jiu-jitsu and he's been training for 2 years back then when he was injured, and he said he fell in love with his grappling. He was a purple belt back then. I think it's underrated. We just never saw it. We saw it against Peter Yan. But yeah, he gave up his back in that fight, and Peter Yan was also a more physical dude.
Yeah, but he could have done that because he knew he wasn't going to be in any trouble from Yan.
Yeah, probably. He also said that once he got rocked, he was on autopilot, so he wasn't really thinking, which is pretty much all of round 3. Yeah, man. Yeah, if I was going to play anything, I'll probably just play that under because, I don't really.
Yeah,
I can't get it in.
He was rocking Yan though in round 3. He was landing really hard, and Yan is durable as fuck. So it's kind of hard to get like a super good read on what those kind of punches would do to other fighters.
Yeah, I know that's the annoying part, and I think he's also got underrated power. You saw him cracking someone like Cejudo, who's very durable. I don't know if Sean is that durable just yet. And then you saw Peter Yan versus Merab, and then Merab is busting him up. So it's like all these different aspects of different fights is just making me second guess. But I'll probably see how the day goes, man. I'll probably just hammer the under 4.5, and I'll probably hammer the 3.5 in the co-main event as well, and just leave it at that. But yeah, we did it. Whole card. I'll quickly go over my picks for the thing, and then I'll ask you best bets, man. So yeah, Moroz, Silva, I got a bet on Moroz. Andrea Lee, Silva, I need to do some more tape. GM3, Petroski, dog a pass for me. Gibson, Katona, I might play Gibson, man. I don't understand this line. Kurt, Hubbard, dog a pass as well, just something putting me off. With the under 1.5. Tavares should win, maybe the KO. I might join you with the, Blackshear. I might even play Pedro Munhoz. The Magny fight is a pass. Weili Zhang by finish, and main event by finish. Do you have some lock best bets for me, sir?
Ah, shit. I mean, I might as well plant my flag on the under 4.5 in the main event.
Nice.
And then Andrea Lee spread and Weili Zhang by submission.
Nice. The fact that you gave it out as a best bet means I kind of have to tail it now, don't I? We've had some pretty good records, man. When a sharp guest comes on, the best bet hit.
This card's kind of tricky though. It kind of, there's not like a ton of spots I feel absolutely amazing about, but maybe they all kind of feel that way. I try to stay hard on myself about what I'm putting out there.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's how you have to be to avoid a 25 unit swing. But I feel like this is better than last week. Last week all those bets are quickly locked in without any tape, and they're all square and juicy. They're all hit. Here there's no like square or juicy. Maybe the under 1.5 in the RoboCop, but I feel confident about that. So I didn't give out a best bet last week, but this week I'm pretty comfortable with the under 1.5 on the Denis Tiuliulin fight. I'm happy to put my under 1.5 record for that fight. I'm pretty confident. And Moroz, I feel semi-confident Moroz too, so I'll give that as a best bet. But honestly, man, now I'll have to look into the Andrea Lee fight in deep. I'm definitely going to look into Cody Gibson fight. Again, I don't know. Do you know if Gibson gasses other than the Ray Borg fight?
No, he did slow down a little bit, though. That's for sure.
Hakata Police. Weidman moneyline. I don't know how I feel about that, my friend. And I'll be joining you on the 4.5, man. Whatever. But yeah, I feel like I might have money on Pedro. I might have money on Blackshear. I might have money on Kurt, on Gibson, on GM3 in some way, if not a live bet at least. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see, man. I've gone from hating pay-per-views to now they're having more of my bankroll. So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, generally a lot of the favorites roll.
Yeah, that's generally the truth.
And there's always one big underdog, and I'm hoping that it's Andrea Lee.
Yeah, let's hope so. Or maybe Sean O'Malley.
That too. O'Malley or Lee. I think, man, I'm hoping one of them comes through. I feel decent about it.
Nice. Alrighty, well, like and subscribe. I've got Pepe's stuff on the bottom since last time. If you want to plug something, let us know.
Nah, man, it's all right. I think the people know where to find me. Appreciate you having me on. I always have a good time chopping these cards up with you.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime. Always welcome back. I definitely think they know after this 1 month you've been doing the work, the Lord's work. Yeah, join. Follow Pepe. He gives out free picks. It's pretty sharp. One of the sharpest out there. Or even if you want to join and jump in my Discord, he's in there too. But yeah, thank you very much, and good luck on your bets.
See you later, guys.